Hey guys, Coach Sean here, and in this video we're going to be talking about the exercises I used to progress and how I got over my fear of going up over my head to achieve my first proper handstand. So at the start of 2019 I set a list of different goals for myself to achieve, and one of them was being able to do a handstand. When you're younger you just want to lift heavier and be stronger. You don't think about mobility or core work or anything like that. And as I got into my 30s, I realized that I need to work a lot more on my flexibility, my mobility, but a combination of strength and mobility to me was being able to do something like a handstand. I've never been the most athletic person in the world, but being able to do that I think is kind of cool. So yeah, it was a bit of an ego boost. So at the start of the year, I included some exercises in my programming that helped bring me towards that overall goal of doing a handstand. But to be honest with you, I never set a specific date throughout the year, but at some stage in 2019 the goal was to be able to do a handstand. So my workout was tailored towards other goals I set throughout 2019. I knew I needed more core specific workouts in there, and not just core strengthening workouts, which were good, but also core workouts that challenged my stability as well. So basically crunches and leg raises and stuff like that, for the most part they were out, but stuff that challenged my stability, stuff like planks while holding on to a Swiss ball, or doing different kind of ladder drills while in a push-up position, those kind of exercises that really worked on core strength and shoulder strength as well, that I included in my workout routine. So obviously one of the outcomes of doing a handstand is holding my body weight over my head. So I needed to improve my shoulder strength, but I also needed to get over my fear of going up over my head. So my first progression to ease into that was to walk up the wall and just hold that position from there. To be able to walk up the wall, have the crown of my head towards the ground, and hold that position. And from there I'd start to try and do different kind of push-ups to work on strength in that position. I'm not too sure if the push-ups really helped in terms of shoulder strength rather than just holding it in a lockdown position, but for me being able to do exercises up over my head definitely helped. Now I will say my one problem with this exercise, and you'll probably see it in the video when I'm doing it there, is that my back kind of arches a little bit too much, and I felt a little twinge in my lower back sometimes when doing this exercise, so I wasn't completely comfortable doing this, which is why I really want to progress as fast as I could to my second progression. And the second progression was to have my back face the wall, so I had to flip up over and in a handstand position, being my back against the wall. To be honest with you, when I tried this, I just completely froze. I couldn't get my head around it. I literally must have been in that position for a good minute or two, just trying to get my head around, throwing my legs up to have that handstand position. Even with the wall there as a crutch, going up over my head was just too much for me at that time. So to compensate, what I did was I got a mat, put my head in the ground, just to give myself more of a stable base, and from there I felt a little bit more comfortable kicking the legs up. After that, what I did was I tried to work more on shoulder strength, and once again I'm not too sure how much this really helped, but to go from my head on the mat in that upside down position to try and push up, while I was definitely working on shoulder strength, I'm not too sure if that is needed to do a handstand, but it was definitely a hell of a shoulder workout, so it's not something I regret. And then when I got to this stage, man, to be totally honest, I just got complacent with this. I would throw it in every now and again. It wasn't my favourite workout to do, to be upside down, because I don't like it. You probably figured out at this stage of the video. So like every now and again, my upper body routine, I would throw this exercise in to work on the shoulders a little bit. But over the next couple of months, I really got complacent with the goal and didn't really work on it as much as I should have. There was times where I attempted to do use the TRX to walk out into that position to create a bit of instability, to work on my core a little bit more. And actually, looking at the video, I don't know why I didn't do that a lot more. Oh yeah, that's why. But then as the summer rolled by and I realised, I looked back on my list of goals, I'm like, I'm not really progressing further in this handstand. I needed to push myself a little bit further, and to do that, I needed to get more used to going up over my head, and to do that, I needed to get rid of the stabilizers, get rid of the crutch, which was the wall. So I set myself up in the middle of the room, and just like I did before, my second progression, I used my head literally as well as my forearms and tried to do a headstand from that position. A forearm stand, a headstand, And surprisingly, this came quick enough. I mean, within 5-10 minutes, I was able to hold it for 5-6 seconds. Nothing to scream and shout about, but it was definitely a nice progression, and to be able to be like, yeah, actually, this handstand is back on track. I will do this in 2019. So I did a couple of different headstands in my routines over the next week or two. Not holding it for too much longer than I did in the video just there. But at the same time, it was working towards the overall goal of a handstand. A lot of similarities, of course. I still need to keep my core tight, my glutes tight, my feet together, toes pointing up. Needed to work on them a lot more. But then one Friday morning, it was a Friday morning, the August bank holiday, I came into the gym, I got my warm up, it was around 10 a.m. and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give a good 20 minutes to this goal, and in these 20 minutes I'm going to be able to hold a handstand for a count of 5. That was the goal. I mean, anyone could do 1-2 seconds, that's a fluke, but if a fluke in my mind anyway, if I could hold it for a count of 5, I could justify to myself that I was able to do a handstand in 2019. So to do a handstand correctly, I knew I needed to do a number of things. I needed to keep my core tight, I needed to keep my glutes tight, I needed to commit while keeping my feet together and toes pointing up. I needed to look back with my feet up in the air, toes pointing up, and most importantly, not to fucking fall. And so at around 10 a.m. on that Friday morning, the challenge began. Hold the handstand for a count of 5. And with no wall, and this being the first time doing it from this position, I really struggled to get up over my head once again until I got that first fall out of the way. But then I really quickly got the hang of it. I was holding it for a count of 1, a count of 2, and I'm like, this actually is not going to be so bad. I'm easily, not easy, but it's going to be very achievable to get this goal within the next 20 minutes. The count of 1, the count of 2 was there, and just like as I thought with the headstand, this is going to come quick enough. Oh! But soon I started to get really frustrated, and fatigue started to get in as I took very little break and just kept going and going and going, trying to get this handstand done. Oh, come on, fuck, this is getting done today. And then every now and again, I'd get to a count of 3 and I'd be like, damn, that was really close. I'd look back at the video, see where I went wrong, see where I could have held for a little bit longer, and then go right back at it again, trying to get towards that 5 count. But the 20 minutes I had to do this goal quickly passed, and because I was getting a count of 2 and 3 every now and again, I wasn't going to stop then. I needed to do that goal. I needed to do that goal that morning. But then again, the falls are really starting to take their toll. I was into it well over an hour at this stage, and they started to hurt a little bit. I know the floor is a little padded, but you keep hitting the ground over and over and over again, it really starts to hurt. But as much as it was hurting, I was stubborn that all a bit more, and I needed to hold this handstand for a count of 5. And then I almost had a breakthrough.
5, please be 5, please be 5.
It was a 4. It was good. It was really good for me, but I couldn't just leave it there and be happy that I got a count of 4. The goal was to get a count of 5, and that morning I was desperate. I was determined to get that count of 5, so we were right back at it again. 2 hours.
Maybe not today.
Although one of the positives was after 2 hours at this stage of doing this, I was really starting to get good with my landings. I actually scratched that. And then after 2 hours and 48 minutes of trying, do you ever have one of those mornings where you've built up a goal for so long in your head, you're just like, fuck it, I'm doing it today. I don't care how long it takes. But today was definitely one of those mornings. And maybe afternoons as well. So mission accomplished. That was one of my goals ticked off for 2019, and my God, thank God for that. To be totally honest with you, on the one hand, I probably could have achieved the goal a lot quicker had I actually been a little bit smarter about it and went to a studio that was specific in calisthenics and helping me do different exercises such as handstands. But on the other side of it, I really enjoyed the journey. It was a lot of fun trying to push myself towards doing a handstand by myself. There's a little bit of selfishness and a bit of ego in that to get this goal by myself and to say, you did that one on your own. Even though it's not the most practical way, I enjoyed the journey as much as, if not more, than the destination of doing it. It was tough, but it was a lot of fun. Although, had I known that morning I was walking in that I was going to be doing it for 2 hours and 48 minutes till I got a count of 5 a handstand, would I have done it? Absolutely not. But once I got into it and I just got really stubborn with it, I just knew I had to keep going here until I got that count of 5. And as insane as it is now to look back and think about doing that, it was actually a lot of fun at the time. To give you an idea how painful those hours were, though, that's 2 hours and 48 minutes, and that's ingrained in my mind at this stage, how painful that was. At the end of this video, I've sped it up now, but you're going to see every single failed attempt and all the falls I did trying to get that count of 5, as well as the very end, the timestamps on my Instagram story that day of how long it took to get to the 2 hours 48, and then check out the amount of videos I actually had to record to get that workout done. So yeah, that's pretty much my journey in getting a handstand count for a count of 5. It's not the end of the journey. The next goal is to be able to do a handstand walk. God knows when that video is coming up, but hopefully sooner rather than later. Thanks for checking out the video. From Coach Sean, take care.
I had to do 5. Oh, okay. 5, please be 5, please be 5. I had to do 5.
Now that wasn't a hard video to get through now, was it? I hope you guys got some value out of the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to Coach John's channel, which is somewhere here. And hit that button, subscribe to Coach John's channel, leave a thumbs up. There should be a couple of other videos around here for you guys to check out. And that's all from me, from Coach John. Take care.